All right. What's the deal, man? It's your man, King Eric, the media assassin. And we are tuned in to a very exclusive special episode of Off the Cuff Radio, episode 667 or 68, I believe. And I'm representing on behalf of Screwball Radio, Buddy Boy Entertainment. Big shout out to my partners in spirit, Eli the Sandman, Lady Chinchilla, and T-Max. And we got a special guest on board, man. These brothers here have been putting it down from Oakland all the way from Arizona. They have a real dope movement called our Black Fathers Committee. They got some dope music out. They got a good message out there they want to send to the world. Big shout out to Fleetwood for making this happen. I want to welcome my man Bilal to the stage. What's good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace and blessings. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
Yes,
OBFC
sir,
in the
man.
building. Shout out to Fleetwood, like you mentioned. That's big, bro. Shout out to Off the Cuff. Man, I'm just happy to be able to get this interview in and spread the message, continue to spread the message, continue to put this work in. And I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely, man. And you know, I was looking at you guys' bio and your background. I see you brothers are doing some real positive work in the community, and y'all also reshaping the Black father's image. You know what I mean? Because we live in a time where Black men are stigmatized in everything they do, especially when it comes to fatherhood. So you guys taking that initiative to put that out there and reshaping the image is a great look.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. It's definitely part of the purpose and the purpose which has developed into a passion. You know what I mean? I never I didn't really grasp it at the beginning about how much I would enjoy walking this path. I just knew it was part of my purpose. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And for everybody that's tuned in right now, you care to start? When did you start this foundation?
OBFC started in 2015. It started on the brink of, or you know what, just after I actually stepped away from doing music for a little bit. So previously to that, I was doing music for about 10, maybe 12 years or so straight, you know, fresh out of high school, just wanting to be a rapper and pursuing that. And it really took me it really was a downward spiral, you know what I mean? And to the point where I pretty much crashed. Thank God that it wasn't something that I couldn't recover from. So after stepping away from music, I just realized that, you know, there was a lot of brothers that I still wanted to be in contact with, still wanted to be able to support. And I wanted to bring us all back together, but under a more defining purpose. And I was like, man, what can we all relate to that's different than what we've already been doing? And it was just fatherhood. So I'm like, man, we're going to come back. We're going to represent this fatherhood. And it's not going to be my Black Fathers Committee. It's going to be our Black Fathers Committee. And that's because it's for all of us. You know what I mean? Not just for me. This was something that the higher power put on my mind and in my heart to bring to fruition, to help bring to fruition for all of us, though, not just for me. You feel me?
Absolutely. And how widespread are you guys right now with this movement?
Well, definitely we're all across the U.S. We got brothers everywhere that's part of the conglomerate and part of the bigger network. However, we're locally based in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where we do most of our community work at. We also do, the way that we stay connected is through the music is one avenue, but we also travel. So, you know, we travel and we get to other cities and we connect with brothers and sisters and take that, like that online support that you usually get while looking for your tribe. We explore it further by pulling up a lot of the times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a matter of just taking the youth into your hands and pretty much guide them to a different passage.
Oh yeah, the youth came into it shortly after, or you know what? It was around the same time. So I was already doing mentoring. I was already doing mentoring before the OBFC idea came about. And one of the last shows that I did before I stopped doing music was based around. It was a sickle cell awareness. So I was already like leaning towards a more positive outlook when it comes to this music journey. And that just slowly but surely found its way into youth mentoring, specifically young black boys between the ages of uh, 8 and 17 years old.
Now, being there, we see how the media pretty much demonize the black image. Do you feel in a way that the black image, especially black men, is being attacked right now?
Uh, do I think it's being attacked right now?
Yes.
Yes, I do, but I believe that I haven't experienced a time in my lifetime where it hasn't been under attack. You know, black
Mhm.
manhood specifically has not been under attack. So I think it's common now. For those of you that really just haven't accepted it or haven't came into that knowledge, it's real. We've been under attack and we're still under attack. I think the best way to begin to combat that is to accept it and be aware. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And what's dope about your monument that you have going on, I was looking at your website. You guys have books, you have seminar classes, you have all types of avenues to reach out to young black males to give them something productive. And what's your thoughts about the importance of brotherhood in today's society? Like, you feel that it's very important?
Yes, I do. I think it's very important, especially just for myself. Um, and I was just thinking to myself earlier today is like, man, I'm happy that I got a solid team around me because I go through things too, and even though I'm always a big help to others, it's cool to know that I got a solid brotherhood to be able to bounce ideas off of or hold me accountable for the things that I say that I'm gonna do, or even correct me when I'm getting out of pocket. I think that's uh very, very, it's been beneficial for me, but it's also, I feel like it should be mandatory for brothers. I mean, you have to find you a brotherhood of a solid like minds that you can, like I said, just build with and hold accountable to the things that we say we're gonna do. I always like to say that uh, everything that I'm doing is really a testament to everyone that I have around me. You feel me? Because what if I didn't have this solid team around me, then I wouldn't be doing a lot of the things that I'm doing because it's based off of like that foundation. You feel me? That's what's keeping that's what we standing on is that foundation of solid brothers.
And also listening to you guys' music, I took a dive in your catalog throughout the week. I just want to know, man, how did you and Crondo meet?
Well, Crondo's actually my blood relative. We cousins, and
Okay, okay.
before we started the OBFC path, we were we were doing music. Like I said, we did street gangster music, hustler music. You know, we was doing that, but similar to now, like the things that we rapping about, we was really living it as well. So it didn't necessarily not necessarily work, but it exposed the fact that there was more to our existence. So um, we was able to just take that same energy and push it towards something positive. But yeah, that's my family. That's my blood relative.
Yeah, that's dope because going back to some of you guys' old freestyles, like y'all were freestyling over the Can't You See beat, the Jazzy Bell from the Outkast beat. Y'all already had the talent there, but to bring the message out, I think that's what brings the music and the energy home. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I do. Some of those freestyles were in the OBFC era as well. Like a lot of that older music, it's not online. Some of it is. We used to go by the Hood Cartel THC. So if you ever want to dive into that, you can as well. I think it was good music for what it was. You know, it's hard to relate to it now, so I don't really listen to it that much. And it's somewhat embarrassing too. I'm like, man, that shit crazy. Like some of the stuff
Yeah,
I
it's
was
kind of
talking
like
about. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like even with us, man. We listen to our earlier shows, and I'd be like, damn, I don't feel right listening to it because we were more off hinge and off the cuff, no pun intended.
Right.
But when you listen to it, it's kind of like looking at the younger you, like looking at how you was as a wild one, and you like, dang man, I was like that. I was on that type of time.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely a reminder, humbling to hear some of it. But so those OBFC freestyles, those came about after we dropped an album. So OBFC started as a study group, really. So the idea came to fruition, and we was like, okay, how are we gonna pull the brothers in? Okay, let's start this RBG study group. You know what I mean? So I just linked up with a few people that I knew, specifically my blood brother Lo, and my partner Sky Harbor, who I was just we was just barely starting building our relationship, but he was a solid youngin and he was hard on the mic. So I'm like, pull up, and he did, and we start building from there. And we had like a graduation at the end of that experience. And at the graduation, I remember we all breaking bread. We was like, okay, what we gonna do next? And it came back to the music. You know what I mean? It came right back to it. Like, we all rap, so let's meet up at the lab and drop a track. And that's when we dropped the song called Plant Seeds. I don't know if you heard that one, but that turned out to be a big uh, social media. Social media accepted it widely across the world, bigger than we had originally planned. So it went mini viral, you know what I mean? And there was a lot of love that came back from that. So we like, okay, we're gonna keep pushing with the music. We're gonna keep pushing fatherhood through the music, and slowly that became more just manhood and just talking about uh, things that are more beneficial to us as a nation and as a community. You know what I mean?
Plus, you guys came out around a time where I'm thinking that people were just yearning for that type of music to come back because it got lost somewhere down the line. You know what I mean? Because people, I think they either got afraid to tackle these taboo topics or they just didn't want to affect their bottom line.
Right. It's still somewhat it's challenging to walk this line, especially when it comes to music, because when people listen to music, a lot of the time they use music to like drown out all of the problems and the real world things that they got to face. So to turn on music and then hear that, everybody's not ready for it. You know what I mean? But I've learned that there's a community of support that is looking for this type of music. So those are the ones that we're gonna focus on, but we're going to implement that street intellect, so to speak, that should gravitate towards those who aren't really necessarily thinking about conscious music. We're trying to reel them in with some of our street intellect and style and so forth. We reel them in with that, but the content is really more positive and beneficial. You know what I mean? It's what's the phrase? We put the sugar in the medicine. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like, or here's another analogy. You put the Playboy magazine over the Bible.
Right. Right, you go get what you was looking for in one way or another. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. So going to your background, man, tell us what it was like growing up in the you came from Oakland, right?
No, I was actually born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona. I met Fleetwood here in Phoenix. We was all doing a show, and from there we actually did a track together. We did a couple songs together actually. And we shot a video out in Atlanta with Fleetwood, and he always just been an inspiration to us as far as like especially to me, you know what I mean, as far as like the way that he move out here, especially like considering that he's the big bro, you feel me, but he's not slowing down. And he got like he got a way that he's approaching it that works, especially like just having your product, owning your intellectual property, all of those things. uh Fleetwood reaffirmed them for me, you feel me? So I'm not necessarily from the Bay Area, but I got ties there through Fleetwood and through others. But I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I did spend a lot of my time growing up in San Diego, California as well. And man, my childhood was like a lot of ours, you know, not necessarily a black man that in the home that we could look up to and be uh have someone like a role model, so to speak. So that's something that we had to like learn on our own through different trial and error. Another reason how OBFC came to to be is because so many of us experienced that growing up, and when we became fathers or even got to that age, we knew that that was one thing that we weren't was not going to bring into fatherhood. Is just being absent. You feel me? If nothing else, we're gonna be there, whether it works with the mother or not. We would never abandon our children or make them feel that way. You feel me? So um, that part was tough as a child. My kinfolk Crondo said he in the backstage right now. But
Yeah,
I said,
let me bring him on right. Here we go.
okay.
What's good,
There
man?
we go. There we go. But yeah,
Peace
I'll
and
wrap it up
blessings.
real quick here. I was just saying that, you know, I faced a lot of the same things that we all did, unfortunately. But I think through a lot of prayer for myself, for my family, and just being able to like think through a lot of things, I was able to navigate my way to where I'm at now. That's why I don't really take too much for granted, and I'm grateful as well, because I know like without that knowledge, well, I don't know what I would have done, and I didn't necessarily like ask for the knowledge; it was given to me. You feel me?
Right. What's good out there, man? Chrono, how you doing out there?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay, brother. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good, man. Glad to be here. Glad to finally get on.
Yeah, man. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, man.
Born and raised in Phoenix. You know, me and brother Bilal were actually cousins, and just a native of here. So I've seen the growth. I've grown with the city. Been pushing the RBG line out here, doing the music for about 20 years now. I would say, yeah, about around 20 years, almost 20 years doing music, and just pushing the line out here, man. Just getting more notoriety, more and more notoriety, spreading awareness about what we're doing in the community, and also as far as what we're doing as artists.
Absolutely, because that's what I was building with Bilal about, man. Like you guys have y'all touching to that energy that I feel that is lacking within today's hip hop market. It's like they want it, but they still don't know how to embrace it. But it's just a matter of making the messaging look cool. That's probably like the challenge amongst a lot of artists.
Right. It's been a challenge, but I think it's been a challenge that we learn how to adapt to. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things that people do, 'cause sometimes it can come off as like preachy, but if you're doing it the correct way, you can get them to understand what you're doing and understand what you're trying to convey, but also you can make it cool.
Now, with you guys, pushing this type of line in y'all music, have you guys ever went through any form of like censorship or, you had opportunities been handed to you and they took it back because they were fearful of y'all content?
Uh, not, not that we're aware of. Uh,
Right.
I'm pretty sure it probably has happened. Like, you slide your information or you slide a link to somebody or people may have heard of us and they be like, oh well, they automatically put you in the box as an artist. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't want to hear that conscious shit, or I don't want to hear that preachy shit, not knowing that it's something different than that entirely. So I don't think that I don't know anything that I'm aware of where as far as they didn't want to mess with us because of that. But I'm sure it's probably happened.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times, man. Because we had artists on the show previously. They said that the streaming numbers have been pretty much marginalized in a way, and the reach has not really been out like that. Because you have the shadow ban going on.
Right.
Like depending on what type of messages that you guys have, like if it's anything promoting health or activism or empowerment, they're gonna like, nah, we're gonna just kind of monetize that a little bit, demonetize that a little bit.
Yeah. That's a possibility as well, especially if they, see, because I believe they watching every fucking thing, in my opinion. So I'm pretty sure they know. I'm not sure if that's the case with us, but I'm pretty sure it even happens with certain local or non local DJs or certain local platforms. You know what I'm saying? So such people similar to you, they may not want to, what I mean, have a song, or also the algorithms as well. You know what I mean? They may or may not want to have, what I mean, that particular content on the channel for fear of what it may or may not bring.
Facts. And also, do you care, since you guys are independent artists, do you care to give people a glimpse of how this really works? Because people thinking, oh, you're just independent, the money gonna come soon as you put out the record. It's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, the main part is you got to get people to support it, whether you're independent or not. You know what I mean? So, I think the blessing with being independent is that you have more control over your intellectual property, and you're able to promote it and market it in the way that you choose to. Of course, it's gonna, or a lot of the times, it's a lot slower. But in this particular album that we recently dropped, you can only get it from our website. So it's not on any streaming platforms or anything like that. And I'm very comfortable and satisfied with that, because we're going to keep spreading what we're doing through platforms and like yours and support like yours, and reach out to the tribe and let them know that it's available. And I think as we continue to do that, that's what like the true essence of independence when it comes to music is. So it's kind of like selling them right out the trunk. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep moving around, and we got a solid product for you.
So with the new project you guys going out, give us a glimpse of what to expect from that one.
I would say first off is I would start with the content. The content is anything that we rapped about, we lived about. We're doing street music, we're actually living that. We're doing intelligent street black man conscious music right now, like in our early 40s. So that's what we're living. We're talking about setting up your family. We're talking about taking care of your family. We're talking about being prepared in case shit gets squiggly out here, being ready. We're talking about, you know what I'm saying, trying to raise your seeds the right way. We're talking about buying land. We're talking about generational wealth, generational legacy, leaving a legacy behind. You know what I mean? We're talking about all that grown man shit that brothers really need to be on. On top of that, it's with the coldest, one of the coldest producers on this side of the map. Shout out to the bro Rich Grant. It's super production, and it's intelligent. It's something that you could play, you know what I mean, in front of everybody. Um, that's what we did differently with this album, and it was real. It was hella fun to make too. It was real
How
fun
long
to
did it
make.
take you guys to complete it?
We had like 3 songs that we did that were kind of older. Then I think around the end of May is when we decided to officially start cranking it out, and I think it took us about less than 90 days. So we was cooking, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of like y'all get that. Once you get that rod going, pause. There's no stop of it, man.
Facts,
Right, right,
facts.
facts.
I was kind of like searching for that too, like over the time. I go up and down with my music when it comes to like being in a creative spirit and a mode, because I got a lot of other things going on. So I was already kind of looking for that, and once I found it with this particular project, everything came back like automatically almost. You know what I mean? And it was fun. It was fun to be able to also recognize, like, man, not only did I not only have I not lost it, but I'm even colder now. You feel me? So that was a great thing to realize throughout this creativity and creation process.
Now, do you guys hear? Because you know, every artist, content creator, businessman, on whom they shape, whoever craftsmanship they participate in. How do you guys get that mode? Like, I know that there's times in this game where you be like, damn man, I want to just give this thing up and just live my life and just go about my business. Like, what keeps you guys motivated?
Uh, I, for me, it's when I hear some new shit. You know, it's been a crazy year for like hip hop in general. A lot of the OGs and the older cats been putting out like crazy dope music, so crazy dope production. You know what I'm saying? And like, so that was an inspiration to me to as far as getting back in the lab. But then also, it's been a minute since we put out a project, like a legit solid project. And I believe that this has been one of the best projects that we've actually done, because we sat down and thought about it and planned and made uh, strategic moves on what we wanted to do and how we wanted it to sound. So I think that was a inspiration in itself as well. And then how it came out, man, it just came out so dope.
Yeah, I was inspired just by like the fact that we was taking it serious. That's all. I feel like that's all really I needed, is to realize, you know what, we doing something right here, and that was enough motivation for me.
Now, how would you guys were able to find y'all chemistry, man? Because that's very challenging when you're first starting off as a group. Like, how were you guys were able to be like, okay, who's gonna play this role? Who's gonna play this role?
Well,
Honestly, it really happens naturally a lot of the
yeah,
times. Me and Grando, we've been doing music for a while, so we never really have those situations in the studio where we're like fumbling for who's gonna do what. When we share ideas with each other, we typically both agree to them. Like, if I come to him and I'm like, what do you think about this? Or he'd be like, what how does this sound? We're the feedback that we give each other is always received well, and we get right to it. So we're actually we look to each other for like confirmation already to what we're thinking. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's a it's a blessing to be able to be in the lab with that type of connection also. You know what I mean? Because that doesn't always happen in the studio. Sometimes it's like an ego thing in there, and we don't have that issue.
Yeah, so you guys
okay.
basically come in as one formation and one plan. Like, knock the project out, check egos at the door, and let's all get money at the end. While spreading the message.
That's it.
Yeah, we would come in and the so we kind of took it back to the old school, man, where it's like, rappers or groups where we're working with a specific producer that's creating the sound for us. So we had the opportunity to do that with Rich, but he's so versatile. A lot of the beats sound different. Like they sound like a bunch of different people made them, but it's 98% him. So we would just go in and he'd be cooking. We'd be like, yo, we choose the track, we choose the beat. We like that one. Okay, who got the hook? I got a hook. He got a hook. Sometimes we both would have hooks, choruses, and then we'll go with the coldest ones. And then as we're writing, you know what I mean? Let me hear what you got so far so we could be on the same page. All right, this is what I got, this is what I got. And we'll just keep doing that until the song is done. And then once we're done, it's like a high. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, this came out dope, man. It's like artists painting, and then you done painting, you get to see the final work, and it's like, man, this shit is cold.
Now, what were
Facts.
y'all guys' musical influences?
Uh, it varies, man. Being from Phoenix, it's kind of like a southwestern type of vibe, so it could go anywhere from like, you know, from Death Row all the way to like Suave House or Outkast to UGK and I got a lot of East Coast influences. At one point in time, I was heavy into like East Coast kind of hip hop, and then it goes back to the West Coast. So it's a lot of different influences for me personally that they kind of molded how I move my pen.
Right, man. Because it's all about being aware with the surroundings and what's going on with the world. Because man, with so much going on, man, y'all got about 20 albums load of content.
Yeah, we do, honestly. But yeah, some of my influences are the same as well. I think, Pac has a big influence on a lot of us, but he's definitely on my list. Um, Pimp C is definitely on my list. Uh, like T.I., Young Buck. Uh, but I also like X-Rated from the West Coast. Brother Lynch, T Nutty, E40. Like I have a West Coast influence as well. So like Crondo was saying, it's really like our influence is how we sound. Honestly, too, it's like a Southwestern sound. It's not too West Coast. But it's West Coast with a little bit of South in there.
Absolutely. And you know what? This what separates a lot of talented artists is that when they study the greats and they study the legends before them.
Facts. That's a big part of it, which I necessarily didn't do when I jumped in to start doing music. I just kind of like I said, it was fresh out of high school, so I'm just going with the flow. You know what I mean? Some brothers went to college, some brothers went to the pen, the other brothers, some people went to the military, but the ones that was just on the streets, we was trying to figure out exactly what we was gonna do, rap or pimp, sell dope. There was a lot of different options, and one of the ones I chose was rapping without necessarily doing the knowledge. And towards the end, I'm like, hold on, I done skipped too many steps. It's not even making sense now. So when I took a little break and I start really researching it and going back to it, I'm like, man, that's the blueprint for this, man. I think any artist, any upcoming artist, anybody that's thinking about doing music, before you step into rap or hip hop, study it, study the greats, and then move forward from there. It'll only help you.
That you guys being MCs and show, this is a hip hop question I want to shoot to y'all, man. What do you think about these dudes today having ghostwriters?
Terrible.
Yeah, it's
I
whack,
mean, you know
man.
what? I take that back. So it depends on what type of ghostwriting you're talking about. Me personally, I don't necessarily agree with like people writing your bars for you. Here, you spit this. But I know in the industry, a lot of the time songs get passed along. So I'm not gonna necessarily hold that against you if you assign artists and somebody brings you a song that fits you and you run with that song. More power to you. But I think the essence of like hip hop is like it's got to be your own lyrics and your own life that's being portrayed as you spit. You feel me? And AI is not helping with that at all either. AI is the new ghostwriters. You feel me? Even with the books, a lot of people are putting out books now, but they're written by AI, and you know what I mean. More power to you if that's what you want to do, but how authentic is that? And I think hip hop is authentic. You feel me? We don't want to water that down. We are, like I said, we don't want to water that down. We don't want to help water it down more than it's already being infiltrated.
Big facts. And one more question, man. Do you guys have any tours lined up?
Tours. No, but we're open. We're open for doing tours. You know what I mean? Promoters holler at us. Like I said at the beginning of the show, that's one thing we're known for is pulling up. We love coming to different cities and showing love and circulating that black dollar in different cities. You know what I mean? So promoters holler at us. The RBGs, Pan Africanists, all of the tribe in your city. If you're doing events, holla at us, invite us out. You know what I mean? With enough time, it's a great possibility we'll be there.
Yes, sir, man. Because I know you think you guys have a lot of things to take care of, man. We reached the interview limit. Now, one more thing I want to ask you guys to do, man, since the interview is over, man. You think you guys could give us like a radio shout out or a drop or something?
Yes, sir. Easy. Cardo, go ahead.
Right.
Off the
Yo, man,
cuff.
big shout out. You now rocking with Off the Cuff Radio, man. This Crondo, OBFC, the revolutionary almighty OBFC, man. You rocking with Off the Cuff Radio, man. Peace and blessings. You already know what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Black Power to the last hour. You rocking with Off the Cuff Radio. This is Martel Cartel, aka Brother Bilal from OBFC, Our Black Fathers Committee. You heard?
Yes, sir, man. Big shout out to Fleetwood for making this connection, man. Yo, we're gonna definitely do some more work down the line. We probably got to line up a part 2 because I'm gonna have my partner on deck. Because
Yes,
he
sir.
out there on the grind. But salute to you guys for chopping it up with us.
Yes, sir. Everybody that's listening, if you want to holler at us, hit us up on the website, obfconline.com. That's also where you can get the latest album, all the merch, but also find some more information about some of the programs that we do. And quickly here, I also want to mention that we do a father support group virtually every Tuesday. If you go to our website, you can find a link, the Zoom link to go there, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every Tuesday. All black fathers, black men, tap in.
You heard it right there, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in and lined up. We're gonna be back with y'all next week. This is King Eric signing out. Y'all take us out, man.
Peace.
Peace.
One love.